What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. My name's Joey. I'm your dad bod demigod.
And this is the interdimensional Shirai, Moxie Molly. And do we have a week of women's wrestling to review for you?
Yes, we have a whole week of women's wrestling. Some of it a lot better than others. But let's go ahead and dive on in. Let's talk about NXT UK a little bit because there's not really much to talk about over there. But we did get a little smidgen of something.
Yeah, there was a aftermath promo by Toni Storm talking about how she was robbed at Blackpool too.
She was, but was she really like complaining or just kind of being all whiny?
Well, I feel that with her wrestling in NXT US against Rhea Ripley, I think that she's going to play the heel there. So she's starting to have a good transition into giving you a reason to dislike her. But this promo, as well as other ones we'll talk about later today, I feel that this is one of those promos that I like, that they believe every word they're saying. You can feel the heart and passion behind them. So in turn, fans and you and I believe every word they're saying. If you don't believe in you, why should we?
I believe in her. I just don't know if I like this side of Toni Storm. Like, I kind of dug like edgy rocker Toni Storm. The oh pity me whiny Toni Storm, not my cup of tea, but it's some solid character work, so I appreciate it.
As a heel, you're not supposed to like her.
But I want to like to not like them.
Give her a second. This is the first promo you've seen like that.
Okay, I'll give her a hot minute, but this is just my hot take right now. Speaking of Miss Toni Storm, let's go ahead and jump right over to the US branded NXT because we got to see a match that we've seen a couple times. So we got to see Toni Storm go one-on-one with the genius of the sky, Io Shirai. I love the little spots we got in this match because we've seen these two square off multiple times, most notably in the finale of the Mae Young Classic at Evolution. They didn't disappoint. They gave us some solid little back and forth chain wrestling. There were some fun spots.
I really liked this match. What I like about the both of them wrestling is I feel like you don't see the same thing twice. Of course, you see back elbows, clotheslines, all that crap, but like they have such an extensive repertoire of moves. We haven't seen the same thing twice.
There was one spot that stood out to me for not the best reasons because I was a little confused on what she was going for, but Toni kind of like stopped and it allowed like Io to grab her and roll her into like a cradle.
Oh yeah, and it was very slow.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. But I mean, if it was a botch, Io covered it, like turning it into a cradle.
She did cover it. I think the reason it stuck out to me and it was a little irritating is normally when I see something that's botched, I can be like, okay, I know what she was thinking she was going for. For that one, I was like, I don't know exactly what happened here. This is confusing. But we didn't get to see a finale to this match because out of nowhere...
Ends in DQ because Bianca Belair comes in and clobbers Toni Storm mid-dive through the ropes. And then it wasn't too long before...
This is my brutality!
Rhea Ripley enters.
You know, normally when someone comes in to make the save, they just run out and they make the save.
Yeah, she's just like...
She did her thing. She did her whole entrance pose. She's like, well, I'm Rhea Ripley. I'm here. Now I guess I'll join the fight.
Right. I like her attitude behind that. The one thing I didn't like about it is when Bianca Belair came in and completely laid out Toni Storm, the only thing she got on Io Shirai is Io jumps up on the ring apron to be like, hey, I assume, hey, don't interrupt my match. Bianca Belair gives her a big one of these, and then Rhea Ripley comes in. It's like you kind of made Io Shirai look kind of weak that one of these took her out long enough for Rhea Ripley to do all that.
That's fair. I mean, you really just needed to take her out so she could get to her spot where she got on everybody on the outside.
That's true, too.
Because she got her, like, revenge, but also she just went through a match with Toni Storm, so...
True.
Like, I believed it. That's fine with me.
I like that Rhea and Bianca got to have their little tit for tat, and then, like, how you just said, then Io comes and breaks it up, and she's like, what, motherfucker? See, this is what is so smart about NXT is, first of all, if you've ever watched Tough Enough, you know that Triple H says, like, never lose the belt. It means everything to you. But Rhea Ripley dropped the belt, and you're like, ooh, she dropped it. Hunter Hearst Helmsley about to be mad. But she dropped it in just the perfect place for them to end this with Toni Storm picking it up. And then boos from the crowd to start her into being a heel.
She got all those boos from the crowd, but you know who doesn't get booed? Io Shirai. She's a heel and she's living up her best heel life, but that crowd just eats her up like she's cake.
I feel like she's more of a heel like CM Punk heel. Like she's a tweener. Like she's too cool for school.
I love it. I think she's great. I also like how this kind of set up, because we know that Toni Storm is happening at Worlds Collide. We know that Bianca is happening at NXT TakeOver Portland. And now you've got Io Shirai, who's kind of in both of these feuds. And all four of these women are kind of colliding around the championship.
Seems like the world might collide.
There's a couple layers. Like, you don't know if they can go for like a triple threat or a fatal four-way, or if everyone's going to get their own singles matches and then Io's going to come in for the next one. There's just so many different options that can happen.
Additionally, on NXT US, we got some pretty sweet video packages from both Shotzi, and I always say Shoxy with a K, so I'm correcting myself. Shotzi Blackheart and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, they had a one-on-one match on NXT, and let me tell you, I really enjoyed some Shotzi Blackheart.
I would say that this match challenged Shayna Baszler to not do the same stuff we see all the time, because before she lost the championship, you and I were both saying, like, we kind of see the same thing from her, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's because she had wrestled the same people. Throw Shotzi in the mix, and I think we saw a whole new side of Shayna. Yeah. And, I mean, it's not a new side of Shotzi because she's new, but, like, she didn't disappoint.
There was a couple spots where it got a little wonky, but that's to be expected with two people who really haven't worked with each other too much. But I love that sliced bread number 2 on the apron. I thought that was great. That cannonball that Shotzi did into the ropes. And then the cool thing about it was her showing offense, but it was also showing Shayna dealing with like a brand new animal. She's been working the same people, but also nobody that's really thrown moves at her like this. For lack of a better term, Shotzi is balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So she's not really like a crisp high flyer or like a real mat technician. She's just like, I'm gonna come out there, I'm gonna flail myself at you.
That's literally, she's gonna literally throw herself at you until she wins.
Yeah, and I loved it. I thought for a second they might have her beat her, and I was really excited.
Shotzi, this being I think only the second time we are seeing a singles match from her on NXT, almost got out of Shayna's Karafuda clutch, and commentary was like, look at her fighting, she's gonna overcome, and then of course Shayna and like still chokes her out. And there was a few times in the match too where Shayna was like, whoa, I've never had this thrown at me before. So I think it stretched both of them to new limits in a good way.
Out of like the newer people that they're trying to integrate into the women's division, like Kaden, Santana, Shotzi, I think Shotzi's had the strongest like showings of all of these women, because her match with Bianca was really solid, her match with Shayna has been really solid, and the crowds behind her more than they are the other newer women coming into the division. So I'm very excited to see exactly what Shotzi's going to bring to the table. I think she's going to be a key player by the end of this year.
And then other than that, we didn't see a match, but we did see a very cool video package / promo showcasing Dakota and Tegan, and it's setting it up for next week. And I gotta be honest, I haven't felt Tegan Knox that much. Like, I felt like she was almost a lesser Dakota Kai.
Right.
And I think this separation of them is showing like she can cut a promo, she can work. I'm becoming a Tegan Knox fan.
I cannot wait till next week, because we're officially getting the grudge match, kick versus kick, and brace yourself.
But I think I want to see this more than once. I feel like there's too much angst and grudge built up to get it out in one match.
Totally agree.
And I think we're gonna see something how we haven't seen the other two.
No, the other two.
I don't know. I get the feeling that now that Dakota Kai has turned bad, we might see some interference from people.
You think she might hook up with the other two? That's a bold prediction.
Or maybe Shayna and they all become a faction. That would be one of the most hard-hitting factions, like using all females that NXT has ever had.
Well, I hope it happens. That sounds really fun. Now, let's go ahead and go to AEW, because this week we're on a boat.
Boats and hoes.
It was Priscilla Kelly making her, I think, singles debut for AEW against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in a match that we really didn't get to see because most of it happened during commercial break.
So, there was some really good technical chaining happening in the corner of the screen, and I feel like, yeah, they totally kind of shit on what those ladies were doing.
They really did. There was one part, though, in the match, I was like, ooh, when she did that, Britt was in the ropes and Priscilla Kelly did the back kick to the bottom of the spot. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, you didn't need a tailbone, did you? Did you need that?
And, you know, for as much as when we very first started this review, we were like, stop pushing Britt Baker down her throat, stop pushing Britt Baker down her throats. I think she was the glue of this match. Priscilla Kelly wasn't as full as much energy and life as I've seen her before, and as we've seen her in AEW tag matches. Let's talk about this. Halfway through the match, you see Britt Baker pull her hair, and then at the end, you realize Britt Baker's just made a very keen, smooth move to becoming a heel. Yeah. So perhaps it's because Priscilla Kelly isn't usually a face, so maybe she was a little lackluster that way, but Britt Baker, I think she showed why she's been the staple so far and been in more matches, I think, than even the champion.
I agree with that. It shows why they're pushing her, but then what happened afterwards shows why they might stop.
Well, I think it's not fair that the microphone went out and there was wind blowing and they cut to a commercial break. It was a little flat, but I'm liking it better than when she was doing face promos. I like her heel persona better.
It seemed like really weird how she was delivering lines.
Yeah, I don't think it was smart to do it immediately after the match in the middle of the ring. Like, let her go in the back and, like, literally take a drink of water and catch her breath for a second. I think it's less her fault and more the mechanics of how they put the show together.
I could agree with that.
And I still liked it better than most of the stuff we hear from the Nightmare Collective.
Yeah, it was better than any of the Nightmare Collective
Which we didn't see!
Thank God, yes. But all along that line, we've been seeing so much of them. We've been getting the beginnings of storyline, but
and
no
they never follow through. Hey, hasn't Britt Baker had this huge rivalry with freaking
B. Priestley?
Yeah, we didn't even see her. Like, where the heck?
Cool, nice little change of pace to see something different on AEW, but overall, they're still not really giving us much. It's kind of pointless to watch the women's division in AEW.
Although I will say, with Britt Baker's performance, I will give you guys a chance on Wednesday, and let's hope that this builds to something. It's just not scrapped now.
They've given me no hope that it won't, so I'm just going to go with that.
That's true. I'm giving you a chance, though. Moving on to AEW Dark. Dude, I was sitting there just, like, scratching my head, like, why the isn't this what was on national television?
I don't.
That was quite possibly the best singles female match I have seen on AEW since its conception.
Wow, that's a bold statement. The match she is speaking of is AEW Dark's Big Swole taking on the former TNA knockout Diamante. It was fun. And it had some like fun little comedy spots with like the chancla and the spanking and everything else. But the thing that I've been saying it for a while now, AEW is sleeping on Big Swole.
Oh yeah. There's a few of them, but especially Big Swole.
Big Swole, like legit, her and Chris Statlander, when they both came in, I was like, these two are going to make a division. And they've kind of given Statlander a push, but they've been sleeping on Swole.
But putting Statlander still in weird storylines. It just goes to show you don't have to have a certain amount of years in the business because she is entertaining AF, and it just like shows how undeniably Big Swole knows this craft. And I know they say she hasn't been in it very long. She must have been working 6 hours every single day for the first 2 years because she is worlds ahead of some of the other people we see on national television.
Britt Baker.
Every day, and I'm including men and women. She's more amazing than some of the men that we're seeing on national television.
Which is weird to me why they are still pushing these core women, but they're not giving her that chance.
I have a theory. Britt Baker's going to start to lead that women's division on Dynamite and whatever they call Dark, because I assume it won't be Dark now. Maybe Swole will be... So like how we kind of saw Raw and SmackDown start to take their own people, maybe, let's hope.
Well, I hope we see more of her, and I like your idea too, so maybe we'll see it. Hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey.
Oh, it's time to hear your boom blast moment of the week.
Even though I'm not 100% sold on her, Britt Baker putting Priscilla Kelly into not yet the lockjaw, but almost to it. And then you see Britt Baker toy with her, like start to scoot towards the rope. I'm towards the rope, let her hand get this close to the rope. Then Britt Baker puts her feet on the rope, pushes them backwards, has her back in the middle of the ring, and ha, bitch! Like, that was awesome.
Bitch! That's not your favorite thing.
I love, like, the heel concept of Britt Baker, like, I'll break your jaw, then take your money when you come to me to fix it.
For my Boom Blast moment of the week, I am going actually for that sliced bread number 2 onto the apron by Shotzi to Shayna. Just a solid move, and I didn't see it coming. Kaboom. That's our review of NXT and AEW this week. What did you guys think? Leave some comments down here.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And also don't forget, we have a Patreon. Go check it out. And
you can get a personalized message, like a few of our viewers have started circulating on Twitter already.
Yeah, come and get it. All right, so Moxie.
Hey, Joey.
Where can people find you? You can find me at Instagram or Twitter at Joey_Mayberry or on Facebook at Joey Mayberry Comedy.
On behalf of Joey Mayberry, I will say boycott TikTok. And if you'd like to find me, you can find me on all social media platforms at that's THEE, Moxie Molly. And I guess we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, next week. I was going to try to make an NXT pun. Didn't work.
Next week. Next.
That's NXT UK. That's German. It's next week.
Next.
I'm done. Bye, guys.